In the past 4.5 years, I've made quite a number of these videos, more than 700 just on the subject of public speaking, presenting to audiences, and especially storytelling. Because I've been into speaking to audiences since 1972. But preceding that by at least 4 or 5 years was my interest in writing books, writing stories. And I've done very little on talking about that. Maybe because I'm not a published author. But I have written a lot of books, and they have been fairly well successfully succeeded. In other words, they've been read by other people. And most of the feedback I've got is that they're not bad. Which brings me to this particular book, which I've presented here before. It's called The Sealers, and I wrote it 2 or 3 years after I returned from a year's sojourn on Macquarie Island, which is a sub-Antarctic island way down towards the bottom of the earth. Now, when I wrote that book, it was a work of fiction, and as a work of fiction, I believe they're the most difficult of all books to write. You wake up in the middle of the night working out plots, making sure that the research is done correctly, the dates match up, the ages of the people are gradually growing old or at the same rate, etc., etc. There's a lot to writing a book of fiction which is spread over a few years. And after a while, when you're writing a book, a long book, this is 274 pages, you get to the stage where you get sick of it. You're fed up of it. You put it aside. And that's what I did with this one. I had it printed and put on my bookshelves. And then, quite recently, I picked it up. And it was if somebody else had written it. And I thought, this isn't a bad yarn. This is a good book. I'm enjoying this. And I am. I'm reading it through again as if I'd picked it up for the first time. Now, I know how the story proceeds. I know how it ends. And yet, I'm still involved in it, the story. Because stories are like that. Even if you've heard them a dozen times before, providing there's an interval between them, a reasonable interval between when you last heard the story or last read the story, you can still get a lot out of it and still enjoy it. For example, Roger, goodness gracious, it's the aging thing. Robert Louis Stevenson, Treasure Island. I read that as a boy, a teenager. And I've read it about 6 times since then, as recently as probably 12 months ago. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Know how the story's going to go, but still riveted. And that's the same with the story that you can write yourself, providing you can put it aside for a while, and then when you come back to it, you're not looking subjectively as the writer, the author. You're seeing it almost through brand new eyes, as if you were another person. And that's when you really start to enjoy your own writing. And that's what I've done with this particular book, The Sealers. I'm quite happy to send a copy of The Sealers to anyone who's listening to this as a free PDF attachment. All you need to do is get in touch with me. Lots and lots of people have already received my books. There's quite a few of them, which I've written over the years, and I'm happy to send them as free attachments. All you've got to do is let me know. This one here, historical novel, quite complex, good characters. I'm praising myself here, but I think you'll like it. Just let me know if you want a copy. Bye.